Alright, today we're gonna go from something like this to something like this. Hey, what's up everybody? So today I decided to finally give the Subaru some love. I do the Mustang parked outside right now and brought this thing inside because I'm finally gonna do a mod that I've been kind of hoarding and stockpiling for a little while now. So something to really make these wheels look a little bit better. And that is the WRX 4-pot and 2-pot brake upgrade. So this is a very, very affordable brake upgrade. So you can get all 4 of these calipers from TRQ rebuilt with fresh seals, fresh powder coat, and everything. They just don't come with the stickers. Those you got to buy on eBay. There's a guy who makes these. I'll link his eBay store below. But the calipers, I believe, were about $300. You can get them even down into the 200s. If you get them not powder coated. So there you go. So it's a very affordable setup. I did kind of splurge a little bit more on the rotors. I went with the Ray Besto's kind of performance, like OEM plus rotors, just in case if I do take some spirited driving in this car in the mountains, I just wanted something that could handle a little bit more heat. Same with the pads. They're just a little bit higher performance rating than OEM. So this is like OEM plus. They're not full race, but I just wanted something that could handle a little bit of heat. So these calipers have been proven time and time again by everyone who races their cars and, you know, does rally racing, all that stuff, that they're good. You know, they've never really had any kind of issues with them. So this, honestly, I just went for it, and the quality of, like, say, like the powder coat, like, yeah, it's got a little bit of orange peel, but it's actually really good. All the seals are brand spanking new. The pistons are brand new. All the hardware is brand new versus trying to get some like crummy, old, used, beat up calipers for almost double the price is just asinine. So I decided to just go with these. I think the fronts I have new dust shields. The rears I do not. I think a lot of people just cut them, so I think I might just go ahead and just do the same thing, because it is kind of a pain in the ass to remove and replace the rear dust shields, let's be honest. So, alright, well, let's go ahead, get the car up on the all fours, get the wheels off. In the meantime, I am going to wash them, and since I have everything brand new and clean, I had plenty of Ceratec left over, so I'm actually going to Cerakote, or ceramic coat, the calipers and the wheels, since they don't really see a whole lot of crazy heat, because I don't really track this car. I think it should survive just fine, and it'll make keeping my wheels clean so much easier. And then if you're curious about what ceramic coat does, it's just like a really tough layer. And then this was the little towel I used on the Mustang, and you can just see how stiff it is. That's why if you use this stuff and you get it on any kind of microfiber, just throw the microfiber away. You don't want to scratch up your paint if you use it again. So I still have plenty left. I still got like half a bottle, which, again, a little bit of this stuff goes a long way. And I think it'll be the perfect amount to do all 4 wheels and all 4 of the calipers. And we'll see how long it lasts and how easy it is to maintain. Alright, so step 1, of course, is let's get these wheels off. And we're not going to waste the opportunity to clean these up. So we're going to clean these barrels, clean the faces. And while they dry, we can go ahead and work on the car comfortably. Alright, cool. Now we're going to allow these to dry while we work on the car. Alright, first things first, get rid of your caliper, your dust shield, get your new dust shield ready. Here is how much you end up removing. So you just have 2 bolts for the bracket, 1 bolt for the caliper, and then your rotor, and then you can start tossing on your new parts. Now, before you toss on your rotor, make sure you get it nice and clean with some brake cleaner, because they do cover these in oil when they ship them and when they store them, and it just helps keep the corrosion off of them. So yeah, see, like, you'll just get a bunch of crap. These are literally brand new, and look at all the black stuff that came off. So make sure you clean them up really nice before you install them and run them. Now, special tool alert: as much as you want to use a regular 10mm wrench on that flare nut, I'm telling you now, don't do it, because for some ungodly reason, brake line hardware is just, it's made out of old marshmallows or some shit. I don't know, but they always round out. So you want to get yourself a proper flare nut removal wrench. So they look like this. So they have kind of like a little skinny opening, so you can go in from the brake line, slide it up, and get a proper grip on that flare nut, because if not, you will round it out. And I'm telling you now, the price of these is way better than having to bust out the flaring tool and having to reflare a brake line. That shit sucks. Just get yourself the wrench. They're cheap. A whole set, like, these are Quinn, so just Harbor Freight brand. These were $30. They have some for like under $20, or even just buy the singular one for a couple bucks. So don't lose patience. Get yourself the wrench. Alright, now once you get that brake line on, all you gotta do is toss on your caliper. It is the exact same bolts that you removed that bracket. Just be mindful to pay attention that the bleeder screw must go on top. Do not put it on the bottom, if not they'll never bleed. Now all you gotta do is just pop out the 2 pins and you can pop in your new brakes, but not before we lubricate them according to the instructions. I did get some shims, but the shims didn't fit, so, and apparently they're not really needed. So we will lubricate the backside, and then this little lip here, and then the bottom lip as well. That way they can slide here easily and don't get stuck to the piston. And after that, we should be done with the fronts. And now, once you toss your pads in, put your little spring clip in, and this is pretty much your end result. Now that looks way better than that junk over there. So, one quick thing that I did notice is that with the TRQ, the hardware that they sent you is incorrect, or at least it's just faulty, honestly. I wouldn't say it's incorrect, it's just faulty. The curvature of this piece is wrong, and luckily I had ordered extra hardware for the entire brake system, and the extra hardware that I ordered ended up being correctly made, so it actually fit properly. So on this one, it just would never catch that pin, where how this one was bent, it was holding it a lot better. So keep that in mind. I would always order an extra set of the shims and all the little hardware for your brakes anytime you do them, because sometimes the manufacturers just get it wrong. So on this one, they got it wrong. So all right, we're gonna go ahead, mimic everything that we did on this side over on the opposite side, and then we will go ahead and get to the rear. I'll show you how to do the rear, and after that it's just the full brake bleed procedure. Okay, so now I got the other side done, so now we're going to move on to the rear. So big thing is same as the fronts. It is 1 bolt on the bottom. It's a 14 millimeter, and then or 12 millimeter on the bottom of this caliper, and then 14 millimeters on the back for the bracket, and then the whole disc comes right off. Alright, and this is how it looks like it off. So here is your caliper bracket. So those are the 2 14 millimeters, and then the 1 12 millimeter. And then you can set your caliper off to the side. So here on the rear, I forgot to order rear brake lines, so I'm going to reuse the factory ones. They still look to be in really good shape. Eventually I'll order rear ones when I order the rear coilovers as well, because I still need to order some rear coilovers. So next up is we're actually going to remove this outer ring. So I already did the passenger side, and this is how it looks like. So you have 7 spot welds that you just got to drill. Super easy. I was going to start cutting it off with a grinder, but then I saw the spot welds and I'm like, man, that's got to be way easier. So this literally took me less than a minute to do pilot holes and drill it out. It's very thin sheet metal, and that backing plate is very thick, so it goes quick. So all you got to do is buzz it just enough to really just thin out the metal to where it'll break. So, and then if you can't see the spot welds, just run your finger across and wipe off some of that brake dust, and they'll essentially show themselves. So all you got to do is use a little pilot hole or pilot bit on the spot weld to center your larger size drill bit, and then you can literally drill them all out, and you don't have to swap the rear backing plates. Now the finished product should look something like this. So all you got to do is just thin it out just enough to where if you hit it with a hammer, it should pop right off. And now for the next part is going to be the special part that we need to adapt this caliper size bolt pattern over to the WRX bolt pattern. Alright, so now we're going to toss on our bracket from Torque Solutions. You can't really see the the name on there, but it says it's from Torque Solutions, and they will supply you with 3 different bolts. So you will have a short bolt that will go from the plate to the bracket, and then you have 2 longer bolts. So there's 2 different threads, so pay attention to which thread pitch is your calipers. Now you can run your original bracket bolts on here, but since I got new hardware, I'm gonna go ahead and run the new one. I am going tossing a little bit of Loctite on them since I'm a little bit on the paranoid side, and just to make sure that they don't come loose. So for my setup, it is the 2 finer thread pitches, and just in case if I needed it, I have more of a coarse thread. So pay attention to which bolts you run. Alright, now I went ahead and just tossed on the rotor. So unfortunately, I accidentally ordered the wrong ones of the Rebastos. There were 10-inch rotors, 10.5-inch rotors when I should have gotten the 11.4, so 266 versus 290 millimeters. So these are vented versus the ones I ordered, they were not vented. So they were the factory size I had prior instead of this upgraded size. So I actually went back to the parts store, returned those, got another set, and they gave me the exact same ones. So I had to go back a second time to get these. So it was a little bit of a back and forth, but this is how it fits. So you can kind of see just how much larger it is than the previous rotor. All right, last but not least, we're gonna go ahead and grab our caliper and toss her on. So I already have my hardware prepped. So all I gotta do is just screw those in, and then all we gotta do is just hook up our brake line, bleed our brakes, and we should be good. Again, remember, pay attention to where your bleed screw is. It should always sit on the highest point of the caliper. So remember not to put that on the bottom. If not, you're gonna have a bad time, and then you're not gonna fully bleed your brakes, and you could have faulty brakes. So we don't wanna have that situation. So make sure when they're oriented in their space, that bleeder screw is at the highest point possible. All right, and then after going back into our stash of hardware, because these rear calipers did not come with the pins or the little shims on the bottom, or this one, or the little spring retainer. So it's a good thing I did order those. And then I went ahead, tossed on the line, made sure I was running the new crush washers and no old crush washers were there. If not, that can cause a leak. So make sure those old washers get thrown away. Don't reuse them. They are cheap. They're less than $1 at your local parts store. And then these calipers came with brand new ones. So that's all fine and dandy. Now all I gotta do is bleed these brakes and then go test them out. So, but before we test those out, I am gonna go ahead and ceramic coat the brakes and the wheels. That way they kind of don't get covered in dust as bad. They still will, because these are semi-metallic pads, so they're more on the racy oriented. But it should make it a lot easier to clean them afterwards. So I'm gonna go ahead, ceramic coat these just like how I did the paint on the Mustang. It's very easy. Essentially, you just wipe on and wipe off. I'm gonna do 2 coats on the calipers, 2 coats on the wheels, and then toss everything on, bleed it all, and then we'll go take the car out for a drive. All right, well, it kind of got late on me last night, and I wanted to show you these in the daylight. Damn, it looks so good. It's my dog over there. But the red just pops with the bronze. The wheels are now ceramic coated, so now they shouldn't be as much of a pain to clean, but it's the right color red, and I think it just gives that car just a little bit more of that JDM vibe that I was needing. Now we just got to work on getting the looks department looking a little bit better, and maybe a little bit more power in this thing. So I'm gonna start searching for some kind of method to get at least another 100 horsepower in this thing, because it is severely lacking on the power. But the looks department is starting to get up there. So there you have it. So the car is now done. I think it looks amazing with the brakes. I can't wait to take them out to go get some good proper testing on some mountain roads. I got to get me a camera for that. But for now, I kind of got to wait because I need a little bit of help to finish bleeding the brakes. I have not fully bled them. They feel pretty good now, but they're still a little bit on the soft side. So for now, I'm just going to get a buddy to come help me out, bleed the brakes, just because it's kind of difficult doing it by yourself. And I don't have the best tools to do it by myself. So or maybe I'll probably just invest in that instead, because sometimes it can be kind of difficult getting someone to help you out on some of these projects. Usually I do everything by myself. So yeah, so if you guys like that outcome, I think it looks great. I think it's like the perfect amount of red with the bronze, and now we finally ceramic coated the wheels. I would say ceramic coat your wheels from day one. I freaking hate cleaning wheels. If you get a brand new set of wheels, spend the $50 on ceramic coat. You can get it on Amazon. Tons of websites. I'll even leave a website below where I got the Ceratec or the Cerakote, and it'll just save your life when cleaning wheels, and it'll also just keep them looking mint a lot longer. So in between washes. So there you have it. With that, I'll catch you guys later. Let me know what you guys think. Peace.